day, everyone. I am Geraldine S. Rivas of Jose Balazo Memorial Elementary School, Kauswagan District. Today, I am tasked to share to you or discuss to you about the action research defined, the definition of action research. Before we will proceed to defining what action research is, I will share to you this story about a fictitious teacher named Fatima. She has been teaching mathematics for the past 10 years in a high school located in a far-flung barangay. She has noticed that many of her students leave school, particularly during the rice planting season. This situation has been a cause for concern among the teachers as well as the school administrator. To address the situation, the principal formed a committee composed of teachers with the guidance counselor and the dropout coordinator for the purpose of developing an intervention. Fatima recognizes that the problem or issue is an opportunity to conduct action research as a means of addressing it in a scientific way. You might have a problem situation similar to Fatima. You may have some long-standing problem or issue that has caused you some concern, but you do not quite know how to solve it. This is where action research comes in. This is true to all of us because I've known some teachers who doesn't know how to conduct action research, but I encourage them to have this. So this is the moment that you are waiting for to know what action research is all about and how to conduct it. So here are the objectives. At the end of the session, participants should be able to first define action research in the context of teaching practice. Second, enumerate the 5 steps that operationalize the action research framework. Third, cite the importance of review of literature in formulating an intervention for action research. Fourth, generate topics for action research. And the last one, plan interventions for specific classroom problems or issues. So here are the key understandings. The first one, action research has unique features that are relevant in improving teaching practices. And the second one is the review of literature helps education practitioners develop and implement interventions that are responsive to classroom procedure problems or issues. So we will start now. We will define action research and how it differs to the other type of researches. Action research, by definition of the Department of Education, is a process of systematic and reflective inquiry to improve educational practices or resolve problems in the classroom or the school. So we will solve a problem. In action research, we will find out, basically we are observing in our classrooms problems encountered, and in action research with that problem, we are going to resolve that one. So it is a process of uncovering solutions to classroom or school problems through a series of methodical, logical, and organized activities. And the outcome of these activities is the enhancement of classroom and school practices. Again, in action research, there is a problem. You will solve the problem. And then after solving the problem, there is an outcome. And this outcome will be the enhancement of your school, classroom or school practices. So it is clear to us what action research is. In contrast, basic research is undertaken to develop, discover, or formulate theories. It is conducted for the sole purpose of finding out general laws about student learning and teachers' instruction. So sa basic research, we will discover and develop theories. So it is conducted to develop. So like for example, there is a situation in your school, but in basic research, there is a problem in your school. So in basic research, you will not apply directly an intervention or an innovation applied in the classroom or in your school, but this is conducted, basic research is conducted to discover what type of intervention or what type of innovation are we going to apply for to the solution of the said problem. And in applied research, it seeks to find usefulness of theories or principles already discovered or formulated. There is already a principle or a theory, and it is being discovered or formulated, and it in applied research, it is that of seeing the practicality of theories in real life situation. Application of the theories, unlike in basic research, it is being conducted. Basic research is conducted to formulate theories, while in applied research, theories is already there and you are going to apply it to the real life situation. So there is a difference between action research, basic research, and applied research. So claro, we will focus only on the action research itself. Okay. Moreover, action research is initiated by education practitioners themselves and is therefore conducted right in their own classrooms for specific purposes. But as of now, we have this pandemic, so there is no face-to-face classes. So maybe the researches are about the online class, those modalities that we have that are being introduced to us by the Department of Education, the different modalities. But when we go back to the normal classes, the face-to-face, so this is conducted, action research is conducted in our own classrooms. It might be contested that action research is therefore useful only for a teacher who implements the solution or intervention. Yes, it is useful to teacher who conducts his or her own investigation about a solution or intervention he or she has devised for his or her own learners. The teacher will benefit from it because she conducted the research to investigate the problem encountered inside the classroom, and then after that, there is an intervention. The teacher chooses what type of intervention he or she will be going to apply to the said problem. It will depend on the type of pupils. It will depend on the environment. It will differ. So it might be that your intervention, the teacher researcher's intervention might be not applicable to the other one because it will depend on what type of pupils or participants you have inside the class. Even if you have the same problem, but intervention will be applicable or pwede lang siya ma-apply depende sa type of pupils or respondents. However, this does not deter other practitioners from learning from his or her experience. In fact, when several action research projects are conducted in specific but unrelated situations using the same solution or intervention, and all the findings confirm its efficacy. An applied or basic research might be developed to further establish its usefulness for a wider group of practitioners or learners. So it is clear that action research is conducted in our classrooms. Okay, understanding review of literature. First, by reading on the problem or issue, so we are conducting action research because there is a problem. So by reading on the problem or issue that an action researcher would like to tackle, he or she would be able to clearly formulate his or her research question and research hypothesis. This leads the action researcher to the stage 2 of the action research framework, ask a question. Like for example, in my study, these are the research questions that I have. First one, what is the pupil's achievement in Araling Palipunan before and after exposing them to role playing? The second one is there a significant difference in Araling Palipunan achievement of the students as measured in their pre-test and post-test? Those are examples of research questions that I have in my action research. Okay, let's proceed. Second, prior research works on a topic that an action researcher would like to address will help him or her in deciding a suitable intervention considering the subject. So we will consider the interclasses, small groups, or individual students. So in this stage, you're going to find a suitable intervention. It will also enable him or her to identify an applicable research design to the study. In this way, the review of literature provides guidance for stage 3 of the action research framework, act to seek answers. In my case, the intervention or the strategy that I will be doing is role playing. So the problem in my class is that they have low academic performance in Araling Palipunan, which is only 49.33 average MPS for the 3 quarters. So it's a problem. 49.33, wala ka abot og 75%, so big problem gid siya. So that's why I conducted the study. So those are the examples of the research questions, and in the stage 3 is act to seek answers. So the suitable intervention that I found suitable to the problem is role playing. Okay, klaro na. From the research questions or research hypothesis down to an intervention to be conducted. Third, from the review of literature, the action researcher obtains some idea on how many student participants should be included and which data collection techniques have been found out to be appropriate for the variables of the study. Some research reports sometimes include sample items for instruments used. So this is relevant to stage 4 of the action research framework, acquire information. So first is we have to identify the participants. How many participants? Who are my participants? So in my case, my participants are my grade 5 sunflower students or pupils in our school, grade 5 sunflower. We have 2 sections in our school, so my section is grade 5 sunflower. So my grade 5 sunflower will be my target participants. And what are the data collection techniques? So the data collection technique is there should be a teacher. I will conduct or I will make a teacher-made achievement test questionnaire, and this is composed of multiple item test, 20 multiple item test. So this test, dili siya pwede na idiretso nimo og conduct, but it will undergo test validation and pilot testing, and that's the time that you will conduct it to, you will have it, or you will use it to your class as your uh, questionnaires, as your to gather information. Fourth is the action researcher can learn from previous studies in terms of what statistical or qualitative analysis will yield the results required to answer the research question or confirm the research hypothesis. So in my case, the researcher will employ pre-experimental research design, and it involves quantitative approach. So quantitative, so meaning it will interpret the numerical value obtained in the study. So I will be using the statistical package for social science, and in my research questions, these are the two that will be used, the arithmetic mean and the t-test. So this will explain further by other speakers, but I just have to share to you the data collection technique. What will be the statistical or qualitative analysis, or in my case, the quantitative or the statistical analysis. So in my study, I only have a quantitative analysis approach. So mao to siya, arithmetic mean and the t-test. So do not worry, there are other speakers to explain further regarding the quantitative and qualitative analysis. Okay, so the review of literature then gives light to stage 5 of the action research framework, analyze and reflect. Okay, so first we will review. First is to have the research question or the research hypothesis. So that's the time that you ask a question. Second is you will find a suitable intervention. So at this time, you have to act to seek answer. What will be the answer to my problem? The third is you will identify your student participants and the data collection technique, and this is about acquiring information. And the fourth one is the analyze and reflect, which includes the statistical or qualitative analysis of the results gathered from the information that you gathered, and then you are going to analyze and reflect from it. So thus, the review of literature has many uses for the action researcher other than giving a background on the study. Some of the technical aspects of the research may be obtained from a perusal of related studies. So it is clear that there are process to follow so that your action research will be finished, and you can have a analysis of your data. So what will be the result? So that's the time that you will accept the intervention if the intervention is suitable to the type of pupils that you have, or it might be dili siya suitable sa imong mga students. Dili siya para sa imong mga students. Okay, let's proceed. Understanding the importance of action research in education. Action research is popular among educators because there is always room for improvement. Kani siya, klarohon na to ni, dili kay, kana lang siya taman, but there is room for improvement in action research when it comes to teaching and educating students. So, in my experience, I was teaching grade 1 for 7 or 9 years. And for that, for my first year in teaching, I have to gather strategies, what will be used, and in the second year. So this is also conducted or the same in action research. There is room for improvement. That's why we are conducting action research. The following are some of the reasons why action research is valuable to stakeholders in the educational system. First, results of action research benefit students. This is true. Through action research, effective solutions to student problems such as poor school performance, low motivation, or frequent absenteeism can be identified and applied. These are common: absenteeism, school performance, and low motivation. Research on special or differently abled students can also help teachers practice inclusive education in a way that they will be profitable to them. Successful interventions for various types of learning difficulties can provide teachers with options that can be utilized in practicing differentiated instruction. So this is common to us, the term differentiated, because we have different types of learners. So that's why we will conduct action research for us to identify what type of intervention or strategy are we going to apply to the set of pupils that we have each school year. Second, action research promotes the culture of research among teachers. Kay ganahan kay ko ani. Because as of this moment in our school, I am the only one conducting research, action research, but I am encouraging them to have this. And as of this moment, there are those na, murag, ma'am, I have to conduct action research. Mo conduct me, ma'am, because murag, okay siya. Action research is good, is benefit, na ma-benefit ang teacher and the student. So, kibale, vice versa, kung naakay nakuan na mga interventions para sa imong mga students na solve nimo ang problem, ang teacher pod is ma-lessen pod iyang work as teacher na murag na-solve niya ang problem. So, accomplishment na siya sa teacher. So, it will promote. Action research will promote the culture of research among teachers. It is imperative for teachers to resolve problems in their own classrooms and schools. So, kita teachers atuan na gid ng trabaho na magsige jud tag sulbad sa problem inside our classroom or the whole school. Dili man ta makakaya na naay problema na dili nato siya ma-solve. So teachers are imperative for that. Teachers who engage in scientific inquiry in addressing classroom or school issues and problems are those who are keen on improving the educational practice, which eventually will contribute to the promotion of access and quality of education as well as its governance. Among the areas that teachers can explore in action research are solutions to problems about least learned skills and competencies. So, mao gyud ni siya atong ginasolve ang mga least learned skills and competencies. So, dito ta mag-focus sa mga skills and competencies that are least learned. Mao to tong ginapangitaan og solusyon. At the very least, action research can help teachers understand what is happening in their classroom and identify changes that need to be put in place for the advancement of both teaching and learning experience. So finally, and more importantly, action research can help answer the questions that teachers have about instructional strategies, student performance, and classroom management techniques. So, dako kaayod yung tabang if we will conduct action research. So, the third one, importance is action research serves as one of the bases for necessary reforms and policy development. DepEd Order number 16, series of 2017. Mao ni atong gina-follow nga guidelines. Results of classroom research are important sources of inputs for decision and policymakers in modifying or replacing current directives and regulations, as well as commonly accepted practices, particularly those that are no longer effective or relevant to learners in the present context. So, mao na makatabang sa action research. Kung makita nila that these practices or these strategies, the practices are no longer effective, so ilaan na siyang i-modify. They will modify or kung pinakakuan na gyud siya, ila na silang i-replace kana siya nga mga regulations and practices. Problems or issues encountered by teachers in the classroom are like red flags that point to instructional limitations and deficiencies. So red flags, uy, oops, pataas na to ang flag. Red flag nga, naaman da itay problem. Mao man day ni ang ato ang na-encounter. Mao na siya ang mga problem. So, ato dyan na siyang tagaan og solution. When several action research conducted by different teacher investigators come to the same conclusions, they can lead to valuable action on the part of educational leaders and administrators. Kung nakita nila nga pariho og conclusion, they will have this valuable action. Even if conclusions from studies undertaken by different researchers on the same topic seem to contradict each other. So, digpud malikayan na ang result sa isa, lahi ang result sa isa. These still offer important information that can be the starting point for revisions of old policy and practices or creation of new ones. So, I encourage you all to conduct action research because of this importance. So, important jud kaayo ang action research with these reasons. Again, results of action research benefit students. Second, action research promotes the culture of research among teachers. And the last one, action research serve as one of the bases for necessary reforms and policy development. Okay, so here is an example. I only have one example. You can add an example, a template on how to start action research. So, even this table lang, kanilang sa siya nga table will be guided. It's a sort of guide to teachers, to us teachers. Even me, I have this as my guide. So, the first column, classroom or school problem or issue on the teaching learning process in order of priority. So, first priority is unsa ang pinaka-problem, then second nga problem, third nga problem. Kung daghan ba dyan mo problem, you add Pajud diha. And then example is low performance of learners in our PAN. So gamay-gamay jud sila og MPS man, so dako jud na siya namo nga problema sa our PAN. And then the possible solution nga akong naunaan is role playing. And then the last column is the importance of addressing the issue or concern is increasing pupils' performance. So malipay jud ta if the performance of our pupils increases. So from the low performance, ang problema nga low performance, na siya'y solution, gipangitaan ako og solution nato og solution, example role playing. Ang iyang importance or the outcome, kato akong giingon ganina, the outcome is increasing pupils' performance. So if we will be doing action research, we can solve a problem in our respective schools. So I know there are those na nag-ingon sa ako na ma'am, we want to learn how to conduct. Murag daghan-daghan sila ang nag-inform sa ako through chat, through text, through call, because they know that I have background. But as a researcher, I have to learn more and more as I conduct my first and this is my second. I learn something from it. So at of this moment, I need to learn how to analyze or interpret the data that gathered. So do not worry. Action research is not difficult. I know that at first, mingon mo na, because I know that most of us are having, even in our undergraduate studies, in our college time, nag-conduct research. Ingon ana ang gihapon ni siya. Then second, ni graduate studies ta, masteral, doctorate, naapod ni siya. Naghimo po ta og research. And then this action research lang is conducted in our classroom. It will depend. Ang kabalo ko, there are many problems that we are encountering inside our class, in our school, but ang ato lang worry is how to conduct this one. So we are very thankful that Sir Bridget planned this one. The research department is conducting this webinar because at first I have hesitation. I am hesitate to conduct action research. Maybe because I am not guided on how to conduct this one. Wala ako kabalo sa guidelines. At first, I want to conduct action research because I find it helpful sa among school kung naami problem. But ang ako lang yung problema at that time siguro, before I started, is wala ako kabalo sa guidelines. Wala ako kabalo how to conduct it. At first, sa kadugayon na sa mga graduate studies, graduate taod-taod na, makalimot ta nga what are qualitative approaches, what are quantitative approaches, what are the types of data gathering. Pero I know that ma-refresh na. Kay even me, when I started my first action research last 2018, maybe it's 2018, I recall the learnings that I have during my undergrad, my graduate studies, kasi medyo taod-taod na siya, na-recall na ko siya na, okay, that is quantitative, that is qualitative. Okay, this is how to conduct research. Nakalimot lang jud ko. So, this is the time I am inviting you all to conduct action research because it's very interesting. This is my second time to conduct action research and I find it helpful, makatabang jud siya sa school, and then if you will be doing this, maka-learn jud ta rather than permanently lang ta mag-hesitate, because there are times that we are hesitate to do this because worry ta na dili mao, but karon na siya gi-share na ana gyud ni sa inyo ang gitudloan na jud mo to how to conduct action research. But my topic is only limited to what action research is, so how it is differentiated with action research, the basic research, and the applied research. So action research will be conducted in our class. We will notice many problems, or if gamay lang na problem, pero baski gamay siya, problema kaayo, and then we will find a solution on how to solve the problem, and then in time, the importance, or there will be outcome that will nga makuha nimo after conducting action research. So I hope that you learn from my. Okay, before I will end, I will leave to you this. This is very nice quote. Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. So this is true. Mo na gid ni nakita nato natay problema pero dili tanan nag-solve sa problem. Thank you and God bless everyone.